Hello, Monish. Good evening. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be
Hi,
here with you.
Utkarsh. It's completely mutual. Thank you for joining in for this lunch club session. So nice of you.
Yes, I'm also very excited to have a conversation with you. As I saw your bio from the Lunch Club, you are into like ethical hacking. You have been programming, and you have your own company. Like you are an entrepreneur. So, please introduce me. Like what you do, and what kind of work you do, and what are you like basically as a person.
Sure, Utkarsh. So basically, we'll follow this particular format if it is okay with you. That 15 minutes first slot where one of two of us will introduce and tell about what we do. Then another 15 minutes, the other person does that. And in the final 15 minutes, we can look at synergies or how opportunities are working together and achieving our dreams.
Yes,
So
yes,
that
yes.
sounds
That's
fine
fine
with
with
you?
me. Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's
so
fine.
I would certainly love to begin with the initial 15 minutes of mine. So basically, I did my graduation from Pune in 1995. And when I was in the final year, I got this couple of small opportunities to work on receipt printing kind of small software applications for a few NGOs, and which I could on my own successfully do it. So that gave me a lot of confidence that, okay, I can develop software applications on my own. And instead of taking up a job, why not I do it as a freelancer? So after graduation, initially for about 4 years, I worked as a freelancer where I developed software applications for small businesses and shops. After which, started developing software for little bigger companies, for example, a chemist shop or a wholesaler or a jewelry shop. That's when there was a need that more team members are required. So started this firm Tech Solutions Mobile, where we basically do customized software development, we do mobile applications development, and we do IT security audits. So when we developed software applications for jewelry segment, we came to know that this segment required huge amount of security features in the application. For example, the data has to be highly secured, it has to be encrypted. At the same time, the access matrix has to be very clearly defined of who has how much authority to do what. And at the same time, it should not be easily accessible to somebody who is actually not wanting to who does not have the privilege to do so, and it should be stored in a very safe and secure place. So a lot of aspects here came about: security in operating system, security in database, security in network, security in applications. This gave us a huge amount of exposure. And in those days, early 2001, you know, people were more focused at uh, IT security from the process point of view. So if my company process or my company IT security policy says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then I have to do that. And there was an audit which was more or less kind of, is the process being followed? Are the guidelines being practiced? So this was the kind of initial IT security work that we did. But as times changed by, people had a different mindset, that instead of just checking if the company is functioning as per the defined process and guidelines, they then wanted that, is the data actually safe? Because that's when they realized that data is uh, I
Yes, yes, Monish, go on, go on.
yeah, sure. I just thought there was some background noise. No problems. So data was their asset, and that was extremely invaluable to them, because if something happens to the data, it's a major loss to the organization. So then security in and around database relational database management systems is what happened. Going further, the trend actually changed from that too. That okay, we have systems in place, we have tools in place to take care of the basic needs of an IT security aspect. What we now want is find out the vulnerabilities which a hacker would be using to get access into our internal systems. So that's when ethical hacking came. And that's how our IT security journey of past more than 20, 25 years has shaped up. So what actually started with a very plain, simple process audit, further went on and developed into more of ethical hacking and reporting the same to the client so that the entire infrastructure in IT becomes very strong and sturdy. When it comes to software development, yes, we developed various custom-made software applications. So wherever there is there's a requirement for a software which is not easily met by off-the-shelf applications. For example, there are a lot of retail chain shops where they have consignment sales kind of transactions. What happens is that items are physically lying in the mall or in the shop, but they do not belong to them. They still belong to the distributor. Only when they are sold does the distributor raise a bill to the shop and the payment is made. So this kind of inventory management, where physical inventory lying is lying at X, but it belongs to Y. This kind of inventory management is even today not available in many off-the-shelf applications. So that's where we come into picture, and we develop customized inventory applications which has barcode, which has RFID, and various other features of e-commerce built around it, so that a lot of small and medium-sized business establishments could function in a very automated, smooth, efficient manner. Mobile applications, yes, we developed one of the mobile application which is called as Len-Den Khata. But a little bit of brief history before that. So somewhere in 2001, 2002, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, they developed a PDA called Simputer. Simputer meant simple computer. So this was indigenously built India's first PDA, personal digital assistant, which was basically running Linux. So we got an opportunity to develop software applications for Tata Memorial Hospital, for contract farming on Simputer. And that gave us a lot of confidence that for with a very small display, very small keyboard, almost nil amount of RAM, still we are able to develop database applications for such small devices. And around the same time, Nokia started coming up with touchscreen mobile phones. So that's how our journey into mobile applications started. And going further, we developed a lot of enterprise-related mobile applications for BlackBerry and for various different other service providers. And then recently we developed Len-Den Khata. Len-Den Khata is a financial accounting mobile app which has got us a lot of recognition. Like IIM Ahmedabad CIIE, we got recognition from them. We got the Best App Award from NASSCOM. We also got featured on CNBC TV 18 Young Turks. So yes, some of the very unique features of Len-Den Khata is, though it is a full-fledged financial accounting software on a mobile, it does not use any of the complex terminologies of accounting like debit and credit. What it does is uses the common business language like money received, money paid. So somebody who is not even knowing what is accounting can very easily use it. Another very important aspect is that this app is not at all using internet to function. The database lies locally on the handset. So even if somebody is in an area where there is no net connectivity, still we can very easily use this. And most important, this app, we have not uploaded it on any of the online play stores. So nobody can download this app from anywhere else but from us. And we give it to them via WhatsApp or Bluetooth or email, and then they can use it. So app is locked as per their IMEI number. If a customer wants to buy the app is not free. It is being sold. And if he wants to buy, he gives his IMEI number of the phone to us. We compile the app so that it is locked to that IMEI, so that by mistake also the customer cannot forward it to some other mobile by Bluetooth, and the other person can start using it. Only if they buy, they can use it. So this is about some of the aspects that we have been doing in past around 25 years. All of them have been on the technical side. There is something on the non-technical side. When I was in college, I got an opportunity to read a book on graphology. So what I did was I started reading it and started practicing it on my own. And I got to know that when I changed my handwriting, my personality changed. And again, when I changed my handwriting to what it was earlier, again, my earlier personality, which was there, I could actually see that happening. So this got a lot of interest in graphology for me. And I started practicing it on my family members, on my friends. Initially, the accuracy of analysis which I did was around 25 to 35%. But I continued doing this as a hobby. And since last around 5-6 years, the accuracy has now come to around 85%. So since 5 years, I also do handwriting analysis on a professional level. I do it for a lot of children. I do it also for freshers, do it for people who are wanting to change their personality, because it is so powerful that in case if somebody is very timid or very shy, just by changing the way you write a particular alphabet or a character, immediately the person will become outgoing and not at all shy. And even if there's a public speaking which he has to do in front of an audience of 3,000 people, he or she can very easily do that. So that's how graphology is also a part of a service that we provide. And yes, a few years back, I got in contact with healer Patrick San Francisco. So Patrick is basically a healer himself, and he's also giving training on how to heal. So I did level 3 healing under him. And this is basically energy healing. And the concept is very clear that the healer is just a pipeline, is just a conduit. None of the energy of the person is being utilized in healing somebody. It's a divine energy which does the healing. And thus, there is no money to be charged for this healing. Anybody who gives permission to that person, the healing can be sent. And the healing can be for situational, for health, for relationship. And that's very interesting thing. So this is something that I have been doing in past around 25 years, and it's a wonderful thing going forward. I think 15 minutes of my time is just almost about to get over. So that's it from my side, Utkarsh. Would love to know more from you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Manish, for your introduction. About me, I'm a system engineer for what we can say upcoming cybersecurity firm known as Sectona. How my journey began is when I was in graduating from college, I got to know more about the network security part, as those were the minimum subjects we got during 2016. The subjects we had for computers were like network security, then cryptography, and basic networking and all those things. So during the cryptography and all that grabs my attention, and I was looking about how those things work and how communications between channel A to channel B are being encrypted, and the what we can say is the text which is being sent is completely non-readable format. So that grabs my attention, and then slowly, steadily, I got into like networking, then security, and I did my CCNA CCNP training from a local institute in Mahim, which got me a very good exposure of how networks in an enterprise works, like the routers, the switches, how their communication goes from levels 1 to level 7, from the emails, the video, like the YouTube which we browse is working on UDP protocol. So like UDP is not what we can say a connection, it's a connectionless protocol. So and TCP/R connection oriented protocol. So these were the things which I learned during the networking phase, and later I got a job into networking, and then further I started to pursue my masters. As in masters in IT, like there were many subjects like ethical hacking, then this like cloud computing, and security, like information security management systems. And like regarding cloud computing, there was like cloud management, like basic server knowledges, and how the clouds are being what we can say deployed at the enterprise level, and all those kind of things. And slowly and
Very
steadily,
good.
like after like completing my post graduation in IT, I got a job in Sectora, which is at Andheri, Mumbai, where my role is for a system engineer. The solution, what it does is it gives the solution is implemented into the banking sector, or any of the financial or IT sector. That solution uh, encrypts all the traffic from the user's machine, and it to the target devices, be it Windows Server, Unix server, like networking devices, router, switch, firewall, or the database servers which are like MySQL Server or Oracle database, or like MS SQL. So how that solution work is basically the solution is implemented on only one server, be it DC, uh, or for disaster recovery, it is being implemented on the other side. That solution, username and credentials are being fetched from the Active Directory. If the organization have the Active Directory implemented in their environment or not, then the local authentication is being taken place, and the user's machine, only restricted ports are being opened. Rest all the ports are disabled, so that if the user is only accessing some of the Windows server, so specified 3389 or like 4389, whatever the custom port they have provided, those ports are being opened from the user's machine to the target machine. And the other scenario is if the only the least privileges are provided, so that the user or the person does not go beyond his privileges to manipulate or make changes into the system, and everything is being logged and recorded, and in an encrypted format, so nobody can tamper with it. And regarding the passwords and all those passwords and the account details are being vaulted into the solution itself, so the user also does not know the password. So if the user tries to log into the server or anything outside the system, he won't be able to, since he does not have the password, and the passwords are being rotated or uh, like rotated into a complex mechanism, so that the minimum criteria is like 12 characters, with the minimum of 2 characters each, like the special characters, numbers, uppercase and lowercase. So the hard password which is generated from the solution is really hard to crack. So the user also does not know the password. So the cracking or like brute forcing the software is also kind of difficult. And since it is already a growing field like PAM, privilege access management. So all what we can say is the services, the minimum services, and the ISS services are all being accessed by the solution itself. And what we do is basically we provide this solution to all the different customers, and we try to make the products user friendly. Like if your client or anyone have any kind of requirement, we try to look into the use case, like what can be done, how can we manipulate the software to make it easy to understand and use by this other person in such a way that it is user friendly. The user does not have to go around like multiple tabs or anything. You just have to click one click, and he's able to access the server or those things. Previously, like I have done the recently like ethical hacking course, and I'm looking forward to get my certification from EC Council as well. And since they recently launched the version 11, so I'm just looking into it, the brochure and syllabus, like what all new things they have been placing it. And with regarding to cybersecurity, like ethical hacking, information security management, these are the things which are upcoming very near in the future of IT, like cyber security, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, like data science. These all are like the pillars who would be controlling the whole IT sector, which I believe is right. And as far as the other hobbies and all those which are concerned, I like reading books and listening to podcasts or those kind of things. I try to find out new different genres for music and anime and like web series. The movie which I saw was A Man from Earth, which uh, which specified or like which emphasized a person is time traveling, and he has been alive on Earth from like something around like for 14,000 years, and he is telling his story to his fellow friends, and the fellow people are not they are confused whether to believe it because they don't have any reason not to believe him, or if they disbelieve him, then there again the person who is telling the story is also giving them every single piece of cake that the person it is like a box. The people are getting into the box. He unravels one truth, then another box opens up. If the person tries to question him, and the person who is all time traveling, if he tells anything, then another box is already inside the place. So that way, the story revolves around him, like how he is traveling from like caveman to the modern age, and how he plans to travel till further. So that was one of the really good movie which I recently saw. And Monish, as you told about the healing, can you please help me out like about the healing thing as and the graphophony, which also this caught my mind. So can you please help me out with those two parts? Like how do you, as you told me, if a person changes uh, a type like a letter alphabet, the way he writes it, right? So his personality changes. So how does that handwriting make us our personality affects it? Because in this era, like in 2020, we are already working onto the computers, like we have keyboards, we are testing everything, so the paperwork is getting less and less. I'm not denying the paper would be completely off gone, but it would be really less. Like even writing a letter is we just email it, whatever it is, like we email. We are not writing the letter. Like if I have to communicate with a person somewhere outside, like Mumbai, basically, or even in another country, like I would be able to send them emails or courier them the things, or basically WhatsApp them. Like that's how things have changed. So, what I want to ask you is, how does writing still people still prefer writing? And if yes, then how does the changing of their handwriting affects them psychologically?
All right, certainly, Utkars. I'll be very happy to share this with you. Well, uh, to understand graphology, let's take an example of our heart. To find the condition of our heart, a cardiologist or a doctor would be using something called as an ECG, electrocardiogram. So what an ECG machine does, it puts the frequency of the heart onto paper. It creates a graph, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
And looking at this, a doctor will be able to find the health of the heart and various other aspects pertaining to the heart. And then whatever has to be corrected will give medicine to rectify the same. Now, very interesting aspect here is that our handwriting is the ECG of our brain.
Okay.
So what happens is when we write, the electric impulses in the brain are put onto paper in form of our handwriting. No handwriting is good or bad. Every handwriting is good. It's from graphology point perspective, we look at what by what pressure the handwriting is made. Certain curves, certain loops, certain strokes which are there, which helps us to analyze a person's personality. So to give a very interesting example, how personality and handwriting are linked together. Uh, if there is a problem in the heart, we have to eat medicine to correct that problem. What is
Yes.
most interesting is that to change our personality, we don't have to eat any medicine. By changing our handwriting, the frequency in the brain will change and automatically our personality will change. To give an example for the same, uh, this can be practiced by anybody. Many times, due to certain event or an incident or a happening during the day, a person sometimes tend to feel very depressed, sad, and low in energy because of something that happened in office, with friend or with a partner, or at home, something which we would not be happy with. And we feel depressed or sad or unhappy about that thing, and it takes about 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 hours to come out of it into back into our normal self. At this particular time when you're feeling a little low, what you do is you take a book, a pen and a paper, and you start writing alphabet T for table, and the small t. Now you write it in such a way that the horizontal line of T is going upwards like an aeroplane. T, when you write
Yes.
the small t,
Yes.
in the middle part of the T, there is a horizontal small line
Yes.
that we do.
Yes.
That line normally is completely straight, flat.
Yes.
What you should do is you should practice writing T for about 2 to 3 minutes, T, wherein which that horizontal line is a little slanting upwards.
Okay.
When you write this T just for about 20 to 30 to 50 times, you will see that your mood is upbeat. You are again feeling happy. You are again feeling full of energy. You do not feel depressed. You do not feel low. You are completely jovial and uh, very lively. So this is one example of how our handwriting will immediately affect our frequency in the brain, and we completely immediately feel very light and nice and good. So this is how handwriting works. So in case if you see um, anybody writing the letter D for Delhi. Now, if you can see the letter D, small d, it has a vertical line and it has a
Yes.
belly,
Yes.
right? Now, when we are in senior KG, junior KG, first standard, junior KG, senior KG, first standard, second, third, we learn to write these alphabets. And how we learned to write D was just a vertical line and a belly. But as we grow and as our mind develops, as we interact with different people, as we see the behavior of others, we think of somebody as a role model and we start imitating them. Something is imposed upon us by our close relatives and teachers and friends, and we do not remain we try to become something else. We have a different face for different people, and that's
Yes.
where our personality changes. So many times if you see, a small child will write D with a single vertical line, but a grown up will be writing D with a loop in it. So what happens
Yes.
is, the D vertical line is not a straight line, but there is a loop which is formed. The pen goes up, comes down, but comes down from a different path. So a loop is formed and then the belly happens. So you can be sure that whenever a person is writing such a D with a loop in the vertical line of D, the person is very emotional in nature. If somebody says some emotional story that मैंने 3 दिन से खाना नहीं खाया, मुझे please help करो, do this, do that, this person will become emotional and give money or help or whatever, you know. Or also, if there is some emotional scene which is happening in a TV serial or in a movie, this person will immediately get watery eyes, will start crying. So a person with a loop in D is very emotional. Now, being emotional is not good or it is not bad. It depends. If there is a child who is, let's say, in ninth standard, 10th standard, uh, junior college, if this student is emotional in nature, then it's not going to be a very good idea, because something happens in college or in school or in parents tell something, he or she will become emotional, go into a shell, not respond to people, and start uh, feeling bad about it, and will take maybe 2 3 hours to come out of it. So the student is losing very precious time in just by becoming emotional. So we would uh, always consult these kind of inform these kind of people that okay, being emotional is not required for you, so you change the way you write d, and it's very good for you. But at the same time, there are actors who need to be emotional, so that they, when there is a scene which demands, they can easily give that emotion of they're feeling like crying, and water comes, tears come into their eyes easily. For them, being emotional is a very good aspect. So this is how, from person to person, profession to profession, what and how we want to be changes, and something that we don't want, just by changing the handwriting as per the advice by a graphologist, we'll be able to change our personality very easily. So am I able to convey to you the crux of graphology? Is your question answered?
Yes, yes, it is answered. But again, Monish, like another thing, what I wanted to ask you is, if like actor, be it actor, like as you told the example, nowadays like we are having glycerin or like some kind of like substance which they put into eye, and then the water comes out of it. So like that like handwriting for that person might not just be that important at that point of time, right? Because since he's already like successful, he's already having that kind of like fame, money, and all those things, so that person might not be like working on his handwriting or doing those kind of thing at that like moment, right? And regarding a child, if like a child is emotional at that point, so like even as you told, he's wasting his time into himself, and he's not really building up to face the world yet, because the world outside is like the survival of the fittest kind of thing. If we don't fight back, or if we don't like stand on our own feet, if we like I'm not telling that being emotional is bad, but then again, like you sometimes have to be strong. So like if somebody told you and we are oversensitive and we go into our own dilemma and everything, so it really takes a lot of this thing, like it damages are in such a very bad way that we take 2 to 3 hours or like 2 to 3 days to come out of it. So yes, like that time would like changing a handwriting do it, but also consulting somebody like psychiatrist or asking for help, mentor, those things would also help in such a way.
All right. The first aspect, that regarding an actor who is
Yes.
able to easily cry because of glycerin. Now, of course, yes, this is possible, but will it not be a good idea that he is able to cry at will? What happens is that if artificial tears has to come, the shot will have to be broken down into multiple parts. But if the actor is able to cry at will, it will come out to be a very good, smooth flow of the dialogue, of the story, of the acting that is going on. So it will, of course, being emotional for actors always helps in a very big way in every form of acting that they will do. As for a student, yes, there is always more than one solution to a particular problem. So if there is a student who is very emotional, it is not necessary that only graphology will help him to overcome this personality. He can change that personality more than one way possible. But yes, graphology is one of the most easiest and very practical way to implement, is what I feel.
Yes, yes, yes. And like as you told about your like software development, you are working like on the LinkedIn kharcha, right? And into that, like you are binding the like the application of yours with the IMI itself. So that is really one of the coolest thing I have heard yet, because how it works is like the software is what we can say is they reverse engineering the software, and they try to like detect and uh, like pirate it in some way or the other. So that way, like people share it on like Google Drive, Mega Drive, and all those things. They upload it on torrents, and this software gets this like pirated easily. And that way, when you told about the IMEI thing, that you bind the person's IMEI thing with your software, and you link it with the mobile itself. And as you told, the database is also locally. So is the like communication between the application and the database require internet, or is it completely offline, like you don't require internet at all? Like if the person, there are VPNs and softwares which when you can restrict internet access to that software for every time. Like even if you open the internet, that software will block the internet for your application. Your application won't be able to communicate with the internet as far as that application exists into the phone. So is your application like completely internet off the beat, or it does require internet once in a week or sometimes to just update the database?
Certainly, Utkarsh. But there is one more question which is unanswered, and that is regarding the healing aspect, which you had asked me a little while back.
Yes, yes.
So I'll still put that healing related question for 2 minutes and first answer your this technical question regarding Lenden Khata, and
Yes,
then
yes,
come to the question regarding healing.
yes.
All right. So Lenden Khata is purely a native app. That means even for operations, it does not require internet even for a second. Data is wholly and solely lying on the phone memory, internal memory.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
there is a feature in Lenden Khata, and that feature is called as take backup. So when you click on that button option to take backup, the application will take the database file, put it as an attachment in your own email, and send it to yourself as an email attachment. So the backup of the data also remains with you. So in case if you want to take backup of your data, then that backup goes, one of the options that backup goes is by email. At that time, your phone would need internet because the file has to go to your Gmail or Yahoo or Rediff email account, which is there, or your corporate email ID, which is there. So for that email communication, for backup, internet is required. But for putting in entries, for viewing reports, for processing, for generating MIS, and for various other aspects, no internet at all is required. And if you feel that even for backup, you don't want internet connectivity because your data is completely going to be, or you are in a place where there is absolutely no internet possible because of some reason that you are in a basement, or else your data is so confidential that you just don't want to put it on the cloud or net or email or anywhere. In that case, you take backup onto a pen drive so that you have a backup. At the same time, you don't need internet at all for any reason. So it's a purely native app and does not require internet at all.
Okay. So another thing what I wanted to ask you is, if I take the backup and I lost my phone, my backup is into my Gmail at the moment. So when you give me this like application once again onto my new phone, so with my new phone, that database would be synced in some way or the other. Like what I'm trying
Yes,
to ask you is, like are some kind of like private keys or public keys being uh, exchange between the application and the database, which is specifically for your account name, like credentials, with the
we are doing we are doing something very simple. When you buy a new phone, you just inform us the IMEI number of your new phone, and we send you an app for your new phone. You install
yes,
it. It's a completely empty app because there is no data currently.
yes,
You then go into the app and there is an option called restore database. So
Okay.
the backup which is there in your email, you put it in a specific folder of your phone, and you just click restore database, and the database will be restored into your app, and you start working normally the way you was working earlier.
Okay.
So it's something which is very simple. We like you being a technical person, you understand if you have to take backup of Oracle, or if you have to take backup of MySQL server, or even
Yes.
SQLite, you know, uh, we take the backup, and if you have to restore, we just restore the
Yes.
database,
Yes.
and we just give the path where the
The database
file
would be
to be
saved.
restored is lying. So
Yes.
we have made it a little simpler for the user because he is a non-technical person. He puts the file in a particular folder. The program knows a particular path. He picks up the database and restores the database, and he is able to easily work. So that's the system. Very simple and easy to use.
Okay. And what else does LinkedIn Khata provide us? Like as you told, it is about like the money transaction and financial. What else? Like what exactly it gives in for a
One of
user?
the salient features of LinkedIn Khata is, let's say you are a businessman, you have a shop, and
Yes.
you are a trader. So you do sales of some item which you are providing. Customers come, they buy, and there are certain customers whom you know since lot of years. So because they buy from you and because they are known to you, you allow them credit. That TK, I know you well. You buy the goods today, but you pay me after 30 days. You pay me after 60 days. That is a kind of understanding you have between you and your client.
Yes.
Now, moment a customer comes to you and he is buying goods worth 5,000 from you, you just mention it in LinkedIn Khata. That customer, Mr. XYZ, today bought goods worth 5,000, and this was the invoice number. Moment you save, it'll automatically send an SMS to the customer that a bill of the 5,000 is raised. If he comes again after a few days and he is buying goods worth 2,000, again an SMS will go that a bill of 2,000 is made, and now the total outstanding is 7,000. And
Okay.
after about 20 days, customer comes and says that, okay, मेरा 7,000 बाकी है, you please take this 3,000 as a part payment.
Yes.
So
Yes.
moment you put in that, okay, 3,000 received from Mr. XYZ, it will again send an automatic SMS that received 3,000, and now the balance is only 4,000. And while doing all this, LinkedIn Khata is automatically maintaining a date-wise ledger for that customer. And you might have so many other customers. So it gives you a complete customer summary, which is a very interesting MIS report, where just a bird's eye view, you are able to see that which customers outstanding is how much, and total outstanding of all customers together is how much. This
Okay.
lending khata is made with an objective that most of the corporate companies use ERP, various
Yes.
different ERP applications. One of the biggest benefit we have seen in ERP is MIS reports. These
Yes.
MIS reports are so powerful that they help these businesses to make decisions which help the business to grow. Now,
Yes.
small businesses don't have the benefit of ERP. So Lendin Khata is a mini application which is providing this very powerful MIS reports, which helps the business owner to take decisions which will help the business to grow. It
Okay.
gives a very interesting picture that what are the kind of customers who pay me precisely within the due date. So if I'm giving 30 days credit, which customers pay me on 29th day or 30th day? How many customers are there who don't pay me for another 35-40 days? How many customers are there who don't pay till I give them a reminder call 2-3 times? So because the business owner comes to know, he is then able to spend more productive time with those customers who are actually very regular in paying and pays time. So this is one example of how Lendin Khata is helping a business to make decisions which will help them grow.
Okay. That's really good. And is it completely like as you told ERP system? So it is completely mobile based, or like you have an
No. I gave an example for the
Example, yes,
MIS
yes.
reports which they gave. This is not an MRP. It's a pure financial accounting software.
So it
ERP is
is,
enterprise resource planning, which will take care of a lot of things apart from accounting. Lenden Khata is pure accounting. It does not take care of your HR. It does not take care of your production. It does not take care of your raw material inventory and things like that.
yeah. So it is like mobile based itself. Like you, are you trying to plan it for like desktop for higher like business growth?
We already have Shigra Khata. So Lenden Khata is purely for mobile. But in India, there are so many small businesses who don't have even a desktop or a laptop, but they all have an Android phone.
Yes.
But in case if there is a business which already has a laptop or a PC or a desktop computer, then there is a very powerful software called Shigra Khata, which is taking care of everything that Lenden Khata does, plus giving a lot of other additional features for them too.
Okay, that's really great to hear because like as even I have seen most of the time, like even if my local goods and services, I have they always maintain a book and there's like cards.
Exactly.
So even everyone has an Android phone right now. So this thing would actually help people out to be more communicate and even the transaction, like the payment which we are talking about. If there would be one like what we can say, like we have an example of IFSC code IFSC code for bank, like to differentiate the branches. Like if IFSC KK something and 0410 like is if I find that number. So for example, it would be like Kotak Bank for Andheri or any kind of branch. So if we have an payment gateway as well to transfer the money and those kind of things, like just like UPI. So it would also be an advantage. So the person knows that I'm paying to the company itself, like whatever it is registered,
Correct.
and not for
Correct.
the person. Right, like because recently, like a month ago or a couple of months ago, in Delhi there
Mhm.
was Baba Ka Dhaba. If you might have uh, heard or just got this thing about it, basically a YouTuber went over there at a like dhaba. There were two old people selling food and everything. So what that guy did is he recorded the video of the people. They are selling foods and all, but they are very poor and this kind of thing. And on his into his YouTube channel, he gave his account name and his account details and his QR code and Paytm and everything. So people all over India were donating into the YouTuber's account instead of donating into the actual shop owner.
Beneficiaries. Yeah.
Yes, so like if the people had one way to authenticate that this account is for the shop owner itself, and there is no way that the amount is directly going in otherwise. So it would have been a
Correct.
very good thing. So just like
Yeah,
here
you're right.
itself, if we try to like as you told me that it is giving us a full-fledged information about how many received and how many debited and like how many outstanding are there. If the person is paying them via phone pay or anything like that at a particular UPI code or an account number which is linked to the LinkedIn Khata itself, so the amount would be directly going into the person's business bank, like business account, like basically current account, not into his saving personal account or anything like that. So that would also be beneficial because that way he would be able to know that yes, my business, this is the current status of my business, like uh, right,
Sure,
because
sure. You're right. Completely agree.
yes, Manish. And
Yeah. In
that way like
fact,
yes,
we
yes, please.
we have basically gone beyond 45 minutes. I don't mind extending, but I thought I'll just ask your comfort level that if you're extending by few more minutes, are you okay?
Yes, yes, I'm completely fine.
All right, great. And
uh,
so you had one more question regarding healing. So in next two
yes, yes,
minutes, I'll just try and answer the same.
yes.
So what Patrick says is that we all are healers. For example, you are walking and you bump your elbow somewhere. Okay, it pains.
Yes,
So what is your instant immediate reaction? You take your other hand and you rub the
rub
elbow.
it.
All right. So what are you doing? you are transferring the healing energy from one hand onto your elbow. And in just about few seconds or few minutes, you feel relaxed, you feel comfortable. The pain reduces. So healing, we all are healers. And Patrick is endowing us with healing power because he has certain gifts from nature or the supreme power or divine energy, whatever we call. And something that happens in our body is mainly because of two aspects: negative energy and positive energy. So there are a lot of different types of negative energies. Example: anger, guilt, resentment, revenge, so on and so forth. So when we have some negative energy within us, our body is going to have some difficulty in functioning, and we will have one or the other repercussions where we will fall ill, or we will get some disease, or we will get some ailment.
Yes.
When a healing is to be sent, we ensure that these negative energies are cleared. So we uh, give a command for the divine energy to make the person clear of these negative energies, and at the same time we send healing so that whatever ailment or the problem which the person has is taken care. And because this healing energy, we are just a pipeline, we don't have to ask for money. And secondly, once the healing can only be sent to those who give permission. Without somebody's permission, healing energy cannot be sent. Permission is valid only for a day. So once a day, every day, the person has to give permission. Permission could be just two simple words: send healing. So till the person is getting cured of that ailment or the problem, he has to send a permission daily. And yeah, this is something like the taste of pudding is in eating. So to experience healing, no amount of talking can actually help. Only one experiences this healing energy, one comes to know that how powerful and subtle and wonderful this healing energy is. And yes, Patrick says that once the person is healed, he or she can donate an amount of his or her own choice to any NGO working for children or elderly or needy. So after the healing is happened, you need not pay any money to the healer. You just donate some amount or any amount of your choice, nothing fixed. It could be 1 rupee, 11 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, anything that you like, to some NGO which is doing good for everyone. That's it. So this
Okay.
is about healing.
Okay. Sure. Like, and regarding the healing, if like does it require any kind of and does an atheist can also get the healing, can he receive the healing power as well?
Sorry, who can get healing?
Like the atheist, a person who does not like basically believes in God.
All right. Absolutely. You there is no need for one to believe or disbelieve or whatever. Healing is working for all that is required is the permission has to be completely from within. So you give permission for healing. You may not believe in God, you may not believe in a particular belief, you may be believing in a particular belief, for example a particular religion. Oh, there is no problem. It could be any religion in the world, no problems. You may believe in God, you may not believe in God, but when you're giving permission from your deep within, you have to say, yes, I need healing. And for this reason, we have always seen that if the healing is provided to children or to plants or to animals, you will see the results instantly in just 1 or 2 or 3 days. Because there is no wall, invisible wall in front of these children or plants or animals. they just accept the energy completely. But as adults, there are some invisible walls created, and that's where it takes a little time, but it does work.
Yes, regarding adults, like people, like become so much tough, like by fighting the world, like school life and then college life, trying to act cool, and then in offices they try to be the like best employer of the month, best employer of the year for everything. Like they work all the corporate ladders and everything. So basically, some way or the other, like the negative feelings or like the vibration, those kind of things do comes into our own brain, and like even like as the positivity, like we always try to be the best even though it is cutting somebody else food, right? We have to be the best, so that's why become it might have become a invisible wall in the adults time. But for the children, like there is no such thing. They are like completely okay with whatever it is going on with them. Like they don't have any kind of, what we can say, a pressure or like to be the best or anything like that. They are just enjoying the moment of the life. So that is why there won't be any kind of
Absolutely.
walls. But being adults, like we have
True,
responsibilities,
Utkarsh.
we
I
have
agree with you.
yes, Monish. Yes, Monish. So like it is all.
Lovely, lovely interacting with you, Utkarsh. And you have any further questions?
No, no, no. So it was really nice interacting with you, Monish.
Same here,
And
Utkarsh. Thank you so much.
so,
Lovely.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much,
Where are
Monish.
you? I forgot to ask. You were based in Mumbai?
Yes, Mumbai, beautifully Mumbai.
Ah, lovely. I'm also in Mumbai. I'm in Goregaon. We are
Oh,
close.
that's great. Yes.
Super, Utkarsh. Thank you. Good night. Have a
Yes, thank
wonderful time. Bye.
Bye bye.